Don't get it twisted. The Longing is an idle game. That means there's a ton of waiting. Magically, the developers were able to convert idle game mechanics from something like Cookie Clicker into an exploration game. I'm impressed. They even included more active mechanics, which speeds up the game a little. This is the slowest game I'm excited about, and I can't wait to tell you about it. You play a generic shade without a name, but you're all the king has. So the king orders you to wake them up in 400 days. The thing is, that's 400 real-time days. It's over a year. I've never seen a game force a player through that much time for the primary mechanic. This is what makes The Longing so interesting to me. If you logged in, watched the opening cutscene, and closed the game, then after 400 days came back, the king would be ready for his alarm clock. However, you don't need to do that if you take part in playing the game, much like clicking in an idle game to speed it up a little bit. And The Longing plays with time in both directions, makes it faster and slower. Smart and playful decisions were made by the developers, and I love them. The decisions, not the developers. I don't really know the developers that much, so the decisions. Hey, to the viewer, you need to keep in mind that since The Longing takes so long, there's very little to show. I played for 9 hours, and that translated to 15 in-game days, but a lot of the gameplay is walking around slowly and waiting. It might seem boring to watch, but it does give a good sense of the game. You won't need to watch it when you play, which brings me to the first improvement for the player. Like in other idle games, you can close The Longing, and the shade will continue with whatever they were doing, so you do not need to be actively playing. This comes in super handy when you learn of the second quality of life feature the developer added. The shade will walk themselves to a location. You're able to save up to 12 rooms that the shade will automatically walk back to. There's a random choice as well if you want to take that chance. Early on it's useful for finding new areas, but later on it will take you to places you've already been to, so good luck. Even though the game is a bit of a maze, you can't get lost. The top spot on the list of the saved places is always reserved for your home, which I appreciate. I hate getting lost so much, which is why my first smartphone purchase was one that had Google Maps. It was the Droid. Whew, that's a long time ago, and I haven't been too lost since. Anyway, this mechanic is vital for getting around without getting lost, and it makes The Longing much more enjoyable. I was worried that I have to memorize the entire cave system, and it's not the case. And while it's great, it's up to you to actually use the system. Am I a doofus that forgot to save points that I wanted to visit again? Yes I am. So while 400 days seems like a long time to have a game running, you probably won't have it open the entire time. You can choose to send the shade wherever you want them to go and close the game. Then open it later to play more active and keep performing that loop. Some parts of the cave are blocked behind a time wall. You will need to wait for days or weeks or months to get to the new areas. So the game keeps changing as you play. And even 9 hours in, it feels like there's even more for me to find. Another quality of life improvement is that the game pops in and out of full screen smoothly. They put the button at the top right, and even better is that they have the options to turn the sound off and on right next to that. That way you can actually idle the game and have something else open. You know, like watching my other YouTube videos while you play. The Longing is mindful of informing the player when something happens. The game isn't wasting your time on purpose. When an event occurs, the shade will mention it. There's also a book of thoughts that give hints about what you might be looking to do. Now, don't get me wrong, The Longing is a test of your patience. It's meant to go slow, much slower than I usually enjoy. For example, you'll be actively playing and find a door that takes time to open. Now, I'm not talking about 30 seconds either. I'm talking minutes, well, hours. Hours for some of these doors to open. It's just a very slow door, and the shade just won't squeeze himself through the little opening. Also, that shade just strolls around everywhere. He doesn't run at all. And they're super weak. Any action that they take is just going to take extra long time because they do not have the strength to do it. Anyway, there are ways to make time in the longing progress faster. They made it so anything that might help pass the time actually makes the time move more quickly. For example, every page turn while reading a book progresses the time a minute. You can choose to click to the next page to read faster or leave the shade reading while you log out. Other things like making your space more home-like will make the time countdown faster. There is a bunch of stuff in the longing to do this, but you need to explore the caves to find everything. One final aspect that I enjoyed is the entire theme of the game. The art is excellent and unique, and the music is calming and perfect for exploring a cave, and the topic of being alone is intriguing. I'm curious about what the shade is feeling, and what options are going to be available to me. He has a job to do, but will the waiting kill him or something else happen? I have so many questions, and there's so much left to explore. Overall, The Longing is incredible, and I love so much about it. It's impressive the developers were able to translate idle mechanics so thoughtfully. It has a great style, and they nailed feeling alone without being too sad about it. I'm going to be playing this one for the foreseeable future. Hopefully not the full 400 days. I mean, I only have 385 days to go. Thank you. The Longing was really interesting, and I can't believe that the art was really cool and just the way that they translated some of the mechanics for some of that stuff. But what should I play next? Thank you very much for watching, and you will hit subscribe right now.